If you are as safe as we are, then you are welcome here. Melbourne is safe, so very soon Melbourne will be welcome here. From Monday, the 30th of November, in 2 weeks' time, Greater Melbourne will no longer be considered a hotspot for the purposes of travel to the Northern Territory. So we can get on the beers again with our Melbourne mates. Like we have in the past, we are announcing a date well in advance to give us the time we need to be extra sure and extra safe. Waiting another 14 days gives us 2 full replication cycles of data to be absolutely confident. This is happening much sooner than many of us expected. If you think back to a few months ago, very few were predicting that Melbourne would become so safe so quickly. So this is some welcome news. Of course, like always, we hope for the best but prepare for the worst. All arrivals to the Territory continue to be screened and required to fill out a border arrival form. And if the risk in Melbourne does suddenly increase to an unacceptable level, we will not hesitate to make a new hotspot declaration. Melbourne was obviously the Northern Territory's final hotspot. We anticipated this being the last domestic border to come down after they were first put in 8 months ago. Sadly, that is now not the case. The Security and Emergency Management Committee has just met to review the alarming developments in South Australia overnight. All the information we're getting right now concerns us, and there is still so much we don't know about this outbreak. That's the critical point here. It's what we don't know that worries us the most. Given this, we are declaring South Australia a hotspot for the purposes of travel to the Northern Territory, effective immediately. That means people who are arriving here from South Australia this morning will be directed into supervised quarantine or given the option of returning to South Australia. And people who intended to travel here later today from South Australia will need to make a decision now to stay there, or if they do come here, to enter supervised quarantine. Because of this late notice, those who enter the Northern Territory today or tomorrow from South Australia will not need to pay the $2,500. Because of what we don't know, we are being deliberately cautious right now. Dr. Heggie will go straight into more meetings after this with his national counterparts, and his team will keep monitoring the data over the next few days. We are casting a wide net right now, all of South Australia, and hopefully once we know more, we can narrow the hotspot definition. But until we know more, we have to assume the worst and prepare accordingly. You'll remember we have been in this position before. When there was an increase in risk in Brisbane a few months ago, we declared it quickly and were able to remove the hotspot within a week. For those who are going to be caught up in this, I am sorry. No one wants this, but it has to be done. Throughout this crisis, we have warned that things can change quickly, that any time you leave the Territory, there is some level of risk. We'll always do whatever it takes to keep the Territory safe. Once again, you are seeing that in action. We've had more than 160,000 people come into the Northern Territory in the past 4 months. 160,000 arrivals and 0 cases of community transmission. As we welcome more and more people to the Territory, we want to keep that community transmission number to 0. That is far from given. It can happen in SA, it can happen here too. So let's make sure today marks the end of complacency that might exist in the Northern Territory. I don't subscribe to the view that the Territory's success against the coronavirus is all down to luck. I think that is wrong. We made the necessary decisions to keep us safe, and Territorians were the best at staying safe. I don't think our success is down to luck, but I think we can all agree our success has caused some complacency here. We don't want our sacrifice and success to be wasted because we slacked off a bit. The new COVID-safe check-in system will help address that. So will the COVID safety plan reviews that venues will need to undertake. But it's not just up to venues to get it right. We all have to get it right. So please follow the new rules at venues and remember the old rules as well. Keep your distance, wash your hands, stay home and get tested if you're sick. It's what Dr. Heggie's been saying for months. Human behaviour is the biggest risk and the best defence. I think Dr. Heggie and our world-class clinical team have made us all proud to be Territorian this year. So let's give Dr. Heggie and his team an early Christmas present, make sure they can be as proud of us as we are of them, by cutting out any complacency, staying smart, staying safe. Make Dr. Heggie proud, be the best Territorian you can be, and stay safe. Thank you.